And good morning. Welcome to Sports Talk. David Keever, Mike Powell, Brett Keever with you on a Saturday morning. Hey, it's fall.
Oh, finally.
Last
Lord.
night was fall.
Ooh, the best night of the season so far. Crisp, nice, perfect.
Yep. Very nice morning out there.
Oh, yeah.
49
degrees as I rolled up to Maiden.
46 now.
Okay.
It says 46 in Maiden, 46 in Langston, and not much lower in Boone, 43 in Boone this
just
morning.
43.
So, 43. Nice warm day today, though. Sunshine, high 75.
Oh.
Going to get back in the mid-80s, but guess what? My guess is the humidity will be much lower this week.
I can take 80 if the humidity is low.
81, 84, 84. But by Thursday, back to 77. Next Friday, low of 52, high 75.
Ooh,
another
beautiful.
nice football.
Football Friday night.
I don't know if this is good or bad in your notebook, but no rain on the horizon for the next 7 to 10 days.
I don't like that because I'm supposed to have my yard aerated today.
Are you?
Darn it.
Yeah, well, that's the way it always works.
That's the way it always works.
When you get ready to do something like that.
And you need water.
Yeah.
You need moisture and rain.
Well, you can get it aerated. Just don't throw the seed out.
Just don't throw I just won't throw the seed out.
Don't throw the seed out until you see rain.
See some rain. That's exactly right.
Man, big night of high school football, big day of college football.
Oh, there's big games breaking out everywhere nationally.
Tell me one. Which one? What's it?
Well, Wisconsin, Notre Dame.
At high noon, right?
Yeah. Oklahoma.
Is it at noon?
I think it is. Which be 11.
That's odd for Notre Dame to play at noon.
11 o'clock.
It's in Chicago,
Chicago.
baby. Chicago.
Read that and see if I'm right. I may be wrong.
Yeah, it is at noon.
Okay.
My kind of time.
We got to get off of that.
I was trying to do my best Frank Sinatra.
Well, that puts me. That brings me to a subject we've got to cover. Let me tell you a couple things. Okay, going on. It's 3 months till Christmas.
Wow.
Today's the 25th, right?
Yeah.
So, 3 months till Christmas from today. And I informed Brett I saw this thing. I can't wait to get Mike Powell's opinion on this. I sent Brett a message the other night, and I started on Twitter. You know, you see all kinds of stuff. And there was a survey. And it was, what was it titled, Brett? Jukebox Hell.
Oh, yeah.
And it was.
Don't you mean a jukebox hero?
No. If you're in hell and the jukebox has one song on it.
One song?
That keeps repeating over and over and over.
Well, you're already in hell, so does it really matter?
It's going to be bad. So what song would that be for you? I'd like to get our listeners.
Oh, okay.
That's
going to inflict the most audio torture.
Over and over. Boy, it took me a while, but I came up with mine because I actually heard it on the radio, and I said, that's it.
Macarena. Hey, Macarena. That song. Oh. Whew. Oh, I know one. MacArthur's Park is fading in the dark.
Yeah, no, you can't. You can name multiples, but you eventually, by the end of the show, you got to come up with one.
Okay, I'll come up with one.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Brett's was Old Town Road.
Oh, okay. Little Naz.
I could tell real quick Mike likes that.
I don't hate it.
No, I don't either.
Little Naz, yeah.
I can promise you I'd rather listen to it over and over in hell than I would the one that I chose.
I'm curious.
Well, I only thought about it for about 10 seconds, so I could probably think of some worse ones. But
Yep. Janis Joplin's Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah, that would get on one's nerves in eternity. Oh, Lord.
That would be mine. Yeah.
Acapella, she sings.
Yeah. Acapulco. I don't care where she's at, right?
Yeah.
I would be tired of it by the end of the first round.
Yeah, well, it's only about 20 seconds long.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And
we're talking about eternity here. And there's a lot.
I'll tell you guys, as much as I love Freebird,
yeah,
I've heard it so much that if I had to hear that in hell, I don't know. That would be painful.
Brett's not going to like one of the things I saw. One of the things I saw said anything by Led Zeppelin. One of the things said anything country and western. But one of the things did say several things saw Freebird. But the funniest one I saw said anything by Rush. And it said anything by Rush. It said Geddy Lee's voice is like fingernails going down a chalkboard.
Yeah, it's not that
But everybody's got their own opinion and their own.
Yeah,
likes,
I'm kind of indifferent on Rush.
I
like some of their songs.
I'm indifferent on Rush.
I don't hate them.
I just thought that was.
Now, Freebird, I like. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, any song if it was just on repeat would get old after a couple times. But I really like Freebird.
Although I tell you guys,
when it comes on, I listen to the whole song.
But if Spending Eternity in Hell, Freebird would not be the song that you would wish you were free as a bird. But
yeah. It's got to be for me one of those little novelty pop songs, that have been one-hit wonders. Like
it's one-hit wonder weekend.
How about My Achy Breaky Heart?
That was listed. That was listed several times.
My Achy
or anything by
Heart.
Miley Cyrus.
yeah.
Or a duet from Billy Ray and Miley.
That would
be the trick, right?
Okay, I'll have one by the end of the show.
Oh, you'll have more than one. I promise you. You'll think of it, and they'll just be multiples that you'll come up with. But I thought it was a great survey question. And I mean, there's no way you could read it all. I mean, there were so many responses. You could spend days just reading
them.
Yeah, reading the responses.
Yeah,
it's a great survey question.
Well, what if you could pick which song was on repeat?
Yeah.
Would you have one? I mean, you're going to get tired of any song.
I thought about that too. You do it the other way. You're in heaven, and you get to listen to the song of your choice, but only one. Yeah. What would that one be? I'll tell you one that was listed on there several times. You remember that song, "Never Gonna Break My Stride"? And I can't remember. But that was. I don't know where how people remembered that.
How about that song by Rich Ashley? I'm never gonna give you.
That's not bad.
But eternity.
Well, any of them. I think anything would wear on you.
Yeah, it would.
For eternity.
It would.
Give me some college football today. I want to hear what you guys got.
Well, he only got to one game.
I know he did.
I think that Texas A&M Arkansas game
is big.
How about the?
I don't know if it'll be a good game or not, but it looks good
on paper.
Yeah.
How about the resurgence of the Hogs and Sam Pittman? What a name for a coach.
Love that guy.
In Arkansas, and he looks the part, too.
He does.
Butch Parker says, John Anderson, just a swinging.
Okay.
I love John Anderson, though. But that song would drive you.
Well, his voice would probably get to you pretty quick.
It would.
Yeah. And Eternity
Seminole win.
Time. Yeah, I like Seminole win.
I do, too.
Yeah, just looking here today, Notre Dame and Wisconsin, Soldier Field. Brett told me, and I remember this when he said it, that this was originally scheduled for Lambeau Field, right?
Well, last year this was scheduled for Soldier Field.
Okay.
They were supposed to play last year in Lambeau Field.
All right.
But, they ended up only playing conference games.
Right.
So that one didn't get to happen.
Yeah. Let's see.
So that was supposed to
Notre
be
Dame won't play
Wisconsin's
anybody on their home
game.
field, right? I mean, they have a lot of these games at neutral sites.
Yeah. I got to tell you something. Speaking of not playing anybody on their home field, Lenny Anthony, who is a trivia guy, he's got all kind of different little tidbits of information. He sent me something a couple days ago. If I'm able to find it here, and said, listen to this crazy stat. On this day 30 years ago, it wasn't this day, it was a couple days ago, Syracuse beat Florida 38-21 at the Carrier Dome. 30 years ago, Syracuse beat Florida by 17 in the Carrier Dome, right? The Gators have not played a road non-conference game outside the state of Florida since.
Wow.
That was go back to
that is a good piece
1991.
Of
trivia. Yeah. So maybe that scared them to death to go get a 17-point loss at Syracuse.
Well, it was only, last week or week before that, last week that Auburn, it had been 90 years since Auburn had played a Big Ten team on the road, right? When they played Penn State in Whiteout City, Happy Valley.
Big Ten I can understand. I mean, it's just, usually – well, think about it this way, too. You usually get to play, 3 non-conference games per season?
Yes.
A lot of times, 1 or 2 of those are pretty much set in stone, so it doesn't give you a lot of options, but it just does seem kind of strange that they haven't been outside the state of Florida to play somebody.
Well, there's a lot of Mississippi State LSU is an interesting game. Oklahoma, West Virginia.
That is that's an intriguing matchup. I'll put it that way.
Clemson, NC State.
You don't know what Oklahoma will show up. I think Clemson plays much better today. They struggled last week, but were able to win. Who was that over? Georgia Tech last week for the Tigers?
14-8.
Yeah.
14-8, yeah.
Not exactly a confidence-inspiring win.
On Thursday night, Appalachian got a narrow victory over Marshall, avenged the loss last year to the Thundering Herd. App wins 31-30. Very exciting game, right down to the wire. Slept through the first half, woke up, watched the second half. One of my normal routines.
That's your normal routine.
It is. Yeah, we got to see that and got to see the Panthers and the Texans as well on that same night on Thursday night. The Panthers may have won their game, but they lost in many ways with the amount of injuries they piled up.
I was hearing
on
something on the way up here on ESPN, the conjecture that why did they even play McCaffrey? And because they were 2-0, he's injury prone anyway. But here's the thing.
Now, wait a minute.
I didn't get that at all.
How much money is McCaffrey making a year to be on the field and play? And McCaffrey, is he going to help you win a game?
Yeah.
Okay, just simple. I mean, that's a crazy question.
I thought so too.
Now, if he's injured and you want to sit him another week, that's different.
Yeah, but he wasn't.
No.
So he's going to be out, what, a couple weeks at least?
We've already found out McCaffrey is going to get hurt, injured every single year. You know, it's just it happens. I mean, it's in the DNA, I guess. It's going to happen to him every year.
And they also lost their top
their defensive back.
Horn.
J.C. Horn.
Non-contact injury.
Yeah, did we discuss this before? Is he
Joe Horn's son?
The New Orleans Saint.
Yeah.
Joe Horn's son.
Yeah, and he had looked really good so far.
I know.
I never heard what kind of injury it was. Was it a season-ending injury?
Yeah, I think it's a multiple break type thing.
Mike Powell's going to love this one. Richard Howell says on his song, it would be, he said if you were Bill Murray, it would definitely be this. And he said, I got you, babe, Sonny and Cher.
Yeah, endlessly from
and it does
Groundhog Day.
And it does play. Yeah, it does.
I love the song, but
if
I had to hear that wake up to that every day in some kind of
it got old in the movie.
Alternate universe like he was in, it would get old.
Yep. It did. It got kind of old.
Saw Richard last night at the game.
Did you?
Talked to him a little bit. Yeah, he was at the West Lincoln game.
How was the crowd?
Really good. Once by 7:30, 7:45.
Okay.
Both sides. Really good crowd.
Good. That's what you look for.
Good atmosphere.
Good.
Yes, sir.
Good game, big game, good, and a big win for the Maiden Blue Devils, and we're going to get into that obviously.
Oh yeah.
In the show this morning, all the high school football, and I was kind of I want to stay with college, but I was kind of blind to some high school scores last night. Didn't see a whole lot of scores last night. Maybe 4 or 5 is all I saw, and because I was really busy after the game. You know how it is when you do something for another newspaper and you got to get it in, send it.
Oh, that's right. You were sending your story to Statesville, Record and Landmark.
Yep. So I had to do that. Didn't get to pay much attention. Got up this morning and looked and said, I didn't even realize.
Yeah, I know what it's like. You got to start on the story right after the game.
Yep.
I mean, basically.
Yep. Well, I drove home first.
Right.
I did get home first and did it, because I had till midnight, and I made it.
Good.
Appalachian, as we said, the 31-30 winner on Thursday. Then last night, Fresno, after pulling off a big win last week over UCLA, Fresno State played Oregon very close.
Yeah. In
the first game of the year, then beats UCLA. Struggles with UNLV for whatever reason, but they did win 38-30 last night. Over the running Rebels, Fresno State Bulldogs. Is that right?
That is correct.
Also, Charlotte last night playing at home defeated Middle Tennessee State 42-39. Wake Forest over Virginia. What can you make of Virginia at this point? I mean,
my question is, how about those Demon
Wake Forest
Deacons?
4-0 now.
4-0.
Where'd that come from?
Yeah.
And they blew out Florida State and Virginia these last 2 weeks.
Yeah, 37-17 last night. Armstrong throws for 407 in the game last night for Wake.
What I'm saying, guys, there's more parity this year than we've seen. And I think it's because of the super seniors, guys coming back from more COVID eligibility, transfers.
Could be. And we've already seen that the strongest of the strong aren't as strong
Aren't as
as they
strong.
usually are. I mean, Alabama. Don't get me wrong. I think Florida's a very good team, and they were playing in the
Yeah.
swamp. But Alabama, could have lost that game. Could have
Mm-hmm.
easily lost that game. We've already seen Ohio State go down
Yep.
on their home field.
Oklahoma struggled. They've won though.
They have struggled. They gave up 50 points to Tulane or something like that. And
Well, it's 40-35, I think it was. But it's their offense that
Yeah, they didn't look great against
Nebraska.
Nebraska last week.
No.
offensively, yeah, you're right. You're right. They struggled defensively one week, struggled offensively.
Struggled offensively the next.
Yep.
Yep.
Also last night, much credit to the Deeks and what's going on there.
I know.
I didn't realize they were off to the 4-0 start, but
What's
that's
the coach's
terrific.
name, Dave? Sorry, can't.
Yeah, and I know it right
Me
off the
too.
tip of my tongue.
Me too. Clausen.
Clausen, that's it. Liberty and Syracuse. Syracuse wins that one last night. Speaking of the Carrier Dome, they win 24-21 over Liberty.
Nice
last
win
night.
for Syracuse. Liberty with under Hugh Freeze has made some noise.
Yeah, a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they have been one of the fastest growing, I guess, programs in the country
Yeah.
over the last 3 years or so, I would say, about Liberty. And I've even pulled off some amazing upsets along the way. Yeah, Lenny said Dave Claus on. I guess I don't know if spell check did that or not, but yes,
Yeah.
Clausen is. Maybe he's got his claws.
He sort of
on.
coached under the radar, but he does a really good job with all the the recruiting limitations he has at a small school like Wake, and they're usually competitive.
I don't know why I couldn't remember his name. I saw him setting in a local basketball gym one night recruiting a player
Ooh.
that he actually got, and the rest.
The rest is history.
Must have been Sage Surratt.
Yep, he was there. He was there multiple times. Wasn't just one night. He had come to see Sage play a couple different times on the basketball court. By the way. How about this? Number 2, Georgia. We mentioned the vulnerable. The Alabama may be a little bit, and even Clemson a little bit because they struggled last week. Ohio State's already got a loss. How close is Georgia to being the best team?
A lot of people
In
are
the
starting to raise those eyebrows about Georgia being number one.
They struggled offensively week one. They scored a field goal, right?
Yep.
In week one, but they were able to win the game. 'cause
They
of
were
a
going
defensive
against an elite
touchdown.
defense.
They were. But guess what, Mike? I mean, I think if you get to the national championship game or even in the playoffs, if you're going in against an elite defense, you're going to have to find a way to score offensively if you're going to win the game. You think
Yes.
You think they could beat Alabama with 10?
No.
I mean, I don't know. I'm asking the question.
Yeah. And that's the thing with Georgia. I mean, offensively,
But the last 2 weeks now,
they have.
they put the points on the board, right?
Yep.
But now it was against. Help me. Who were those two games?
UAB
Yeah,
and South Carolina.
yeah, and the jury's still out on South Carolina. I think they got the right coach in place. I think they're headed in the right direction. They're a long way from elite level, though, right? A long way from elite level.
Yeah, that's
at
a
least at this
rebuilding
point.
job.
What is it, Beamer's son? Is that?
Yeah, Shane Beamer.
Shane? Yeah.
Yeah, and
He's
they got
coach.
Vanderbilt. They're at Vanderbilt today, so you would think they'll be able to take care of the Commodores.
Oh, are they going to be there?
Yeah, they'd be playing in the
Lionel Richie at quarterback.
halftime show.
Name me another Commodore besides Lionel Richie.
I'm struggling.
Jay Cutler.
Yep, Jay Cutler. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Vanderbilt. Is he the most noteworthy football player?
Yeah, he's got to be.
Well,
Yeah.
there are other. I'm telling you, for a while, Vanderbilt produced quite a few NFL defensive backs.
Did they?
And
Okay.
yeah, I'd like to pull up that list and look at it and just see some of those names. I think you'd recognize some of those names as well. But yeah, it's
How about Aaron Rodgers' brother? Didn't he play at Vanderbilt?
yeah. There you go. You have to. He's listed as Aaron Rodgers' brother on the roster. That tells you enough, right? Are they speaking yet?
I don't think
They've had
so.
a family feud for years. Villanova at Penn State. How far are those two schools apart? Less than 100 miles.
Yeah.
Notre Dame, Wisconsin, high noon on Fox. That game's being played at Soldier Field in Chicago, so that's really an 11 a.m. kickoff Central Time.
That's
So
right.
here it'll be high noon. LSU, Mississippi State. I think that's one of the hardest games to pick.
I know.
Of the day. You know, I mean, LSU is so up and down. Mississippi State, you could just about say the same about them. And somehow, much as I like old Mike Leach,
He's a great quote.
they find a way to lose.
Yeah.
They find a way to lose. I mean, something happens, and they just find a way. The way the Chargers were for several years, they just got to the end.
And still are.
Yes, they are. They proved it last week. Find a way to lose at the very end. Missouri Boston College. How did you say, guys? See
That's a
this
weird
one?
match.
It is, and from what I saw, I think Boston College is like a 7 to 10 point favorite.
Boston College is 3-0. I mean, they hadn't really beat anybody good, but
What's Drinkwater's record?
2-1.
2-1.
Wonder who their losses to.
It was to Kentucky by 7.
Well, Kentucky. I don't know if you've seen Kentucky play.
Undefeated.
Are they undefeated?
3-0.
They're a good team. I mean, I'm telling you right now, they could really ruin somebody in the SEC's party along the way.
Well, they may ruin South Carolina's today.
Talking about
that's who they play.
That won't be ruining their party. Kentucky. Watch! I'll go ahead and prove this wrong. They're going to win that game today. I would say by double digits.
They should.
They are physical. They like to run the ball. They're a solid football team. And
Mark Stoops has done a pretty good job there.
Must be getting the. I mean, Kentucky. People don't realize it. You know, we talk about Florida and Ohio and California and Texas. Kentucky produces a lot of really good high school football players too. We think about basketball and horses, but they really do produce a lot of really good football players. And Stoops is keeping a lot of those at home now, and his team's become very competitive by doing so. So, be interested to see that one too. I wonder if that's SEC Network. If you're ever looking for a good game, and don't forget about the SEC Network, because usually it shows the ones that aren't as as highlighted, like last week's Alabama and Florida. You go to SEC Network and you can see a really good football game as well. And I've watched a couple on there already this season. So poor old Kentucky, that's about as good as they get is
the SEC Network.
Which isn't bad though.
Like I got to get ABC prime time.
ESPN2 tonight.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. That's
7 o'clock.
Yeah, Kentucky and I already forgot South Carolina. Yeah. Yeah. They
And you got Tennessee and Florida is on ESPN at 7 o'clock.
Tennessee and Florida, that I hate it for Tennessee, but they just really always struggle with Florida. I don't know if it seems like they've just beat Florida like 1 out of the last 15 or something like that. It's not been good. And they're playing where? Knoxville?
At Florida.
At Florida. Yeah. Swamp it. 2 weeks in a row for Florida playing at home in the Swamp. But Missouri Boston College is where we stopped at. Let's scroll on down here through some of the bigger games. Richmond and Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech playing out of conference. Pittsburgh at home to take on New Hampshire. Didn't Pittsburgh lose last week?
Yes.
To somebody
they
maybe
did.
they shouldn't have.
Who was it?
Why you think about that?
It was Western Michigan.
Oh yeah, Western Michigan.
That's not the Chippewas.
And that was
That's
after
Central
Pitt.
Michigan.
One of them
Pitt
is.
went to Tennessee and beat Tennessee.
Yes. That's called letdown Saturday.
Yeah.
Is what that is.
What it's called.
Yeah. Northwestern and Ohio. Duke manhandled Northwestern last week. After I sat in here and said there's absolutely no way that Duke can beat a Northwestern team. They were up like 30-6.
Well, it was 21-0 at the end of the first quarter, but then Northwestern dominated them after
They
that.
made a run.
Yeah.
But they just couldn't overcome that 21-0 start.
Battle of the initials. SMU goes to TCU. How about that? That's Dallas versus Fort Worth.
Yeah.
Neighboring
Does
rivalry.
Fort Worth ever cross your mind?
Fort Wayne does.
About every Saturday.
Yeah, every Saturday, exactly. Boise State at Utah State. That was one of our pick-up games this week as well.
Good matchup.
It is a good matchup. I think I went with Utah State. What's Utah State's nickname?
I got to do my pick'ems.
What's Utah State's nickname? Anybody remember?
Utes? No.
No, that's Utah.
I can't remember. There's some kind of Bears. I'm not sure.
Not either.
Why can't I remember? Somebody throw it out there. I need to know.
Utah State.
Miami, will they ever win a game again?
Yeah.
The Hurricanes at home to take on Central Connecticut. Yes, they will win a game
They
today.
will win this game.
Oh, Utah State's the Aggies.
The Aggies,
Aggies.
okay. A lot of Aggies
Yeah.
in the country. Let's see. Toledo. Brett was glad to see Toledo leave town a couple weeks ago. They go to Ball State. Toledo can put up some points. Washington State at Utah. Kind of an odd. That's a conference game.
Yeah,
but just seems odd. Those two matching up against each other. Who's the head coach at Washington State now? You know, they had Southern Cal on the ropes last week. They were up 14-0. I was watching some of that. They had them on the ropes, and I think next thing I know, they turn around, it's 35-14.
Yeah,
Southern Cal. And does this mean Southern Cal has flipped the switch, got rid of Clay Helton, they've turned it around, they're going to be a good program now?
I just don't think Washington State is very good.
No, they're not. They're not. But still, I mean.
Well, there could have been some energy coming in. Dante Williams, I don't know. And I guess he's going to be the guy for the rest of this year.
Yeah.
Nick Rolovich, Washington State's head coach.
Yeah, I do not know that name.
No.
Of course, Mike Leach
Never.
left. I don't know if he was on the staff and got upgraded. I don't know if he came in from somewhere else. Maybe he played his
He was
ball.
Hawaii's head coach.
Okay.
For 4 years. And that's where he came from. Doesn't
Well, Hawaii's not usually bad.
That's his only head coaching experience.
Yeah. Yeah. You would think if you could win at Hawaii in college football, you can win just about anywhere. You think Hawaii hates going on the road?
Yeah.
Leave us here. They do get to go back, though. Colorado State, Iowa. How about Iowa being ranked number 5 in the country?
Been playing great defense.
They have. Good running game. Love to watch them play.
Yeah.
That's
That's a big boy ball.
It is big boy ball, but to me they are just like, if you look up football team, and team being the emphasis, and you look at it, their picture's going to be there.
That's it.
They just play so well together, coached really well.
And already got the big win over in-state rival Iowa State.
On the road, too, right?
Road.
They won
Went
that game
into
on the road.
whatever Ames. Was it Ames? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Didn't think I'd know that.
2 weeks from now, Penn State at Iowa. That's a game I'd like to be at.
Game.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go to that one.
Go to that one.
Yeah, Penn State at Iowa. Right now, that's shaping up to be a huge one.
Yeah, both teams undefeated at this point.
Yep. Penn State's got to prove to me, though, they can go from start to finish because they always find a – last year they were horrible. I mean, they got off to a horrible start. They, won one game? I know they didn't play a lot, but, you know, or maybe they were like, I don't know, 4 and 5.
Well, they lost
weird.
their first 4 or 5, and then I think they won
Turned around
however many more they played after that.
They finished well after that horrific.
Yeah, they might have went 4 and 5 or 3 and 5, something like that. I don't know how many games they played, but
Lenny says Jeff Hafley, the coach at Boston College, is a hidden gem. He was the defensive coordinator at Ohio State before. That may be part of the reason Ohio State has struggled somewhat defensively here. He
Could
says.
be.
Jeff Hafley, now the head coach at Boston College. So,
the thing I remember about Boston College last year was
I think I went with Missouri in that game on my pick'ems. I shouldn't have told you all that, but I know you'll copy me after last week. After the week I had last week,
I will copy you. You got 25 out of what? 29 or 32 or something like that.
It was
30.
I think I was either 26-5 or 25-6.
26-5.
Okay.
26.
But in the NFL, I was 15-1 last week.
Amazing.
Missed the Panther game.
Wow.
15-1, which that won't happen
that
again.
That boy was on fire.
That won't happen again. I can promise you that. You look at these games today that we picked on there, and this is all on CBS. You know, you guys ever want to get in, we'll hook you up, send you the email, the link.
Yeah, still do it.
Yeah, it's on the CBS thing where you pick 31 games, all 16 NFL and 15 college.
That's what's fun about it. You combine college and NFL.
I won the first week, and that was with a 19 and 12
19
record,
and 12.
which that's more like what you expect, I think.
Yeah. 26
well,
and
I
5.
picked week 1 my left hand, just to give y'all a chance. Oh, Lord.
You are smoking.
Yeah, Fort Rembert sent me a message last Sunday night and said, I'm going to get some lottery tickets. Will you pick my numbers?
Yeah.
And I said, yes, I have had a pretty good day. So it was good to hear from him.
It was a very good day.
But like I said, hey, a record like that, these kind of things, this pick'em stuff, you know, if you go over 500,
Yeah.
It's a pretty good week.
There's a lot of 50-50
Yeah.
Well, now,
games on there.
I'm going to go ahead and brag on myself. I went 9-1 in high school last week and picked up another point because I was the only guy who picked South Galway to beat Highbright.
High school's so predictable.
Well, usually.
I'm
but
just kidding. Hey, no, it's not. I went 6-5.
Well, last night there were a lot of really close games.
There were.
Yep. And we're gonna get into those. Those are, and you know what? These we throw some of these games in there and that are in the conferences that we cover, and they're winless teams. And when you put the two winless teams together, I didn't get one of them right till last night. I finally got one of them, 1 out of 2 last night in the winless matchup.
Those are hard. When you got two winless teams playing.
They're harder than the two undefeated teams.
Yes.
Really harder to pick. Moving right on through here, Texas A&M and Arkansas. Unless something happens, I will be glued to the television at 3:30 because you know what?
The SEC's
3:30 on
week.
CBS. You're never going to get a raw deal. 3:30 on CBS. The SEC game of the week's always going to be pretty good.
Yep.
And this one no different. Texas A&M and Arkansas. I went with Arkansas, guys. I think they got the hot hand right now, and they're playing at home. If this game would have been played at Texas A&M, I'd have went the other way. But Arkansas playing in front of that home crowd. I love what the coach said last year or going into this year. He said we had to come in here and sell our kids and give them confidence. He said right now they believe they're going to win every single game. He said they may not win every single game, but they believe they can win every single game, and they're playing like it. They are playing like it. He is. He's got to be a top candidate right now for Coach of the Year. I know it's early.
Yeah,
but
I'm interested to see some of that because I hadn't seen any of Arkansas yet. I've just seen highlights and seen
play hard,
interviews
all over the field.
But they seem to be back.
It may be
in the
horrible
picture.
today, but they just do not make many mistakes. They don't beat themselves.
Well, they've been running the ball too, have they not?
Mm-hmm. Yes, you need to watch them. That'd be interesting.
Actually, I did. They played Texas that second week, and I did watch some of
Pounded
that.
them, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They 40-21. And I think it was really worse than that.
Right. Clemson and NC State. That's hard to figure right here, right? And as what's State's record?
2-1.
And who beat them? Do you remember who beat them? Because Clemson is number 9 in the country.
State lost to Mississippi State.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the road, I think.
Yeah, it was.
State has had a knack over the years for pulling off upsets over top 10 teams.
Yeah.
I just think Clemson's due to play really
due,
well.
Yeah.
I think they break out.
Especially after the way they struggled last week.
Just guys.
And I don't think they'll blow State out, even if they play really well. But I think 2 touchdowns, maybe 3,
maybe 27-10. I'm thinking 27-10, something like that in this one in Raleigh. Because Clemson's defense, is
they're
really
going to
good.
play good defense. I think their offense gets going a little bit.
Well, haven't they struggled in the offensive line? They don't have a back like Etienne, and the quarterback is as highly regarded as he is, has struggled.
Yeah. I mean, and there's many different reasons for that. I mean, he's not playing with the personnel that was on the team last year, like you said. So,
they lost a lot of good players.
Not always the.
And again, guys, the super senior syndrome and the transfer portal is some of these teams are just full of veteran players.
Lenny says State lost to Stark Vegas.
Stark Vegas, like that.
Stark Vegas. Running on through this because we got to take a timeout and continue to move on here. Iowa State at Baylor, Rutgers at Michigan.
Michigan's 3-0. They hadn't really been talked about much, but they've played well. They've been blowing out their
and
opponents.
Still 19th. Wonder why they're still ranked.
Well, I don't think they've
so
really
low.
beat anybody
Strength of
relevant
schedule.
yet. But
That's it.
Louisville at Florida State. Is Florida State going to get pounded again here at home today by Louisville? I mean, Louisville's going to put some points up. I don't see how they can't put points up. So makes you wonder if Florida State can stay in the game or not. Illinois at Purdue, Kent State at Maryland, Georgia State at number 23 Auburn, Kansas at Duke. Duke might get 2 wins in a row.
Yeah, a good basketball game.
It'll be a heck
Final
of a
Four.
basketball game.
Arkansas State at Tulsa.
Living on Tulsa time.
UCLA Stanford. Who rebounds here?
That's a good matchup.
It is
It
good.
is.
It is.
Stanford's playing well this year.
How do you figure Stanford just looking horrible?
Well, week 1 they did look. They looked bad.
Looked bad, but since then they've been putting points on the board.
Beat Southern Cal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That seems to be a yearly occurrence.
David Shaw's a good coach. We know that.
They beat Vanderbilt last week. Now they got UCLA and Oregon back to back.
Oh.
Tennessee, Florida tonight at 7. Brad already mentioned that. ESPN. Nebraska, Michigan State. Another surprise other than Arkansas this year to me is Michigan State.
Yeah, they've been
struggled
great
last
so
year. Got off to a 3-0 start, right?
Yeah.
Ranked number
They
20.
do a coaching change.
Blew Miami out last week.
They did.
And
in South Florida.
And a team made up of almost new players, like 41 new players.
Yeah.
Isn't that what I think I read that?
They look pretty good. I mean, don't count them out of the Big Ten race.
Well, they get by Nebraska. Their next 2 games are Western Kentucky and Rutgers.
Well,
They could be 6-0.
They could be 6-0 at the midway point.
Yeah. And then Michigan.
Is that
that
their? So who are their conference? Who is their Big Ten after? You said
Indiana,
Rutgers,
They're in the West
Indiana,
Division, right?
Michigan, Purdue, Maryland, Ohio State, and Penn State. That's a tough finish.
ending.
No, they're in the Eastern Division.
That's tough.
Division.
That's a tough finish,
It
But
is.
you know what? I mean, if they could go through that and lose 1, or just lose 1, just lose one of those games, they could be playing for the title.
Yeah.
Just depends on how things work out along the way.
Biggest turnaround in the country, as far as I'm concerned. Or when, I mean, I don't know of a bigger one. Do you guys? Michigan State.
No, because Arkansas was already headed.
Yeah,
they played last year like they were
Michigan
headed
State
the right
was
direction.
really bad last year.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 years.
Yep. Kentucky, South Carolina, West Virginia, Oklahoma, 7:30 tonight on ABC. The Zips roll into the Horseshoe to take on the Buckeyes. North Carolina and Georgia Tech. Is this a game that Carolina fans better be concerned with? The way Georgia Tech's been playing much better football.
14-day loss to Clemson. Played them
very well, didn't they? Yeah. Carolina just needs to be able to score points, and I think they'll be fine. But if if Georgia Tech holds them under 20, Georgia Tech's got a chance to win, right? Mm-hmm. Indiana goes to Western Kentucky. California is at Washington. Oregon State at Southern Cal. Colorado at Arizona State. Arizona at number 3 Oregon tonight, 10:30. ESPN.
How many
I
games
love
in a
watching
row?
Oregon play.
What is Arizona's losing streak up to?
Yeah, what is going on there? Didn't they lose last week to a directional
Yeah,
Arizona?
Northern Arizona.
I mean, what has happened? I mean, I don't know.
They hadn't even played a conference game yet, and they're 0-3.
Yeah. Did you even know there was a Northern Arizona? We do now, right? And so do the Wildcats. Here's your rundown of college football. What's going on today? We're going to take a timeout. We'll be back with more here in a moment.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call Ford Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
And welcome back. Glad to have you with us on Sports Talk. Beautiful Saturday morning, man. I tell you, lively crowd at on the hill in Boone on Thursday night.
Indeed.
Yeah. Thick
I was
crowd,
speaking of that, they
but,
got a commitment from a Shelby player
did they?
yesterday. Yeah, he committed before their game.
Well, you
It
can't
was
usually go wrong with the Shelby.
It was a
player.
hopper, I think. They have a
Wow,
hopper
well,
on
you
the
really
team.
can't go
Yeah,
wrong
You can't
with
go wrong with a hopper.
with a Hopper or a Shelby player, and when they're both one and the same. Yeah. Yeah, they've been some guys go up there from Cleveland County and from
Santana
Catawba
Hopper.
County and Lincoln County.
He's a
had
defensive
success.
lineman.
Okay. Yeah, well, I've seen Shelby produce some pretty. You seen this helmet over here? This Shelby helmet we got in the studio. If that was Goliath. That's a big helmet that we've got in the studio over here from the Golden Lions. But yeah, that's a good pickup for sure.
He's
I would guess
6'2", 270, defensive tackle / defensive end, I guess.
I've
Both.
seen him play. Yes.
And they also have that Hamrick.
Hamrick's the one I'm
who's
talking about.
Yeah, he's defensive
He's
end.
6'6".
Yeah.
Yeah, he was rated really high when he was a sophomore.
Well, I'm guessing this one
Started playing.
plays more defensive tackle.
Probably.
Yeah. He plays wherever he wants. You see his
That's what I'm
size?
thinking. Yeah.
Whatever
Wherever he
you-
wants to play.
Whatever you say, sir. Is the way A lot of people look at that. Let's see here real quick what we got on tap for Sunday afternoon. The Panthers with a big win, although it was a costly win on Thursday night. How much money would you have put down 4 weeks ago to say the Panthers will be 3-0 after 3 games? Not many people saw that coming. If they can get through the injury bug here, it's very surprising that they whipped up on the Saints like they did after New Orleans had just dominated Green Bay the week before.
Yeah.
So, but that's what happens in the NFL.
Well, the Saints were without so many players
and coaches
in that game.
Yeah, coaches especially.
Was it 9 coaches?
Yeah.
8 players? The players were mostly due to injury.
Yeah.
And the coaches.
So I don't know.
COVID-related.
Obviously the Panthers played very well, and Jameis Winston came back down to earth. But I don't know. The Panthers got to go down there, but at least they're going to get no worse than a split with one of their division rivals.
Yeah, I think the Panthers are a pretty good team.
Yeah, defensively they're good.
Now they lost that J.C. Horn loss hurts.
Yeah,
a lot. I think.
Yes.
And Matt Rule let's face it, he's one of the better up-and-coming coaches in the NFL, too. He did real well in college.
I think they can survive the McCaffrey loss.
Well, they've got Chuba.
The guy from Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State's a good back. He's no
Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
McCaffrey's so valuable because he can catch the ball out of the backfield, so good in open space.
But I think this Hubbard kid is pretty much
McCaffrey is one of the best,
player.
but I think that's a little easier to plug somebody in than that cornerback.
That's a great
losing
point.
your top corner.
Good point.
Well, they can even go. Who was the back that they put in for him last year? And they went more power than they did finesse.
Yeah, what was his name?
He had a couple good games.
Yeah, he did okay.
Yeah, they'll be.
Was that Mike Davis?
Yes.
I don't think he's with them anymore.
Mike Davis.
But I bet they got somebody that's identical. We got to wake Rodney Willis up. I think Rodney got mad at me last week, but we'll see.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
But we'll see if he's awake.
Well, his Raiders are looking good so far this year.
Yeah. What's his problem?
That's Mike throwing in there.
Throwing down on you, Rodney.
Listen to that. Each and every week, guys, the NFL produces so many good matchups.
Oh, this week's. There's one at each time slot.
It is
each time slot has a great matchup.
But just think, listen to these. I don't know if there's a bad one. Washington and Buffalo. Toss up.
Yep.
I would take Buffalo because they're at home. But Washington their defense is gonna play. You know what I mean? They're gonna hold you to a certain amount of points. They're gonna be in the game. Chicago, Cleveland, really good one, right?
And this will be Fields'
Rodney
first
is
start,
awake.
right?
He says, "Tell him, Brett," and he's talking about those Raiders. Whose first start?
Justin Fields.
Justin Fields, yes, and because of injury. It
was only a matter of time. Either way.
Well, Dalton is our guy when he's healthy. You know what? I heard a different perspective on that yesterday, and it made a lot of sense. If the coach, I think he's sold that Fields is their starter. He's protecting Fields. If Fields goes out there and plays horrible, he can always say, like I said, Dalton is our starter. Fields is the future, but Dalton is our starter. I think he's a little smarter than people give him credit for. The coach, that is.
But this is what everybody's been clamoring for, to get Fields into the
Mike Powell's
starting lineup.
What's his problem to Rodney? Rodney says, "Tell Mike to meet me in the parking lot."
Can we not talk this out?
Spoken like a true Raider.
Yeah.
Right? Spoken like a true Raider. Baltimore at Detroit. Baltimore. That was the one last week that I went with the Ravens in that game, because I was 15-1, and I told you I missed the Panthers.
You got that one. You're doing
exactly.
Well.
But you know what? And it was one of those games. Did you guys see the end when the Ravens decided?
Yeah.
Let's go for it. Let's not give Mahomes a chance.
I love that.
You know what they did? They played to win.
They did.
They didn't play prevent defense and and all this kind of thing that you do to loses games. They didn't give Mahomes a chance.
I understand Lamar sort of made that decision.
Well, he asked him.
Yeah,
and he knew what his quarterback was going to say.
Yeah.
He asked him. John Harbaugh said, "You want to go for
Well,
it?"
you got a guy like Lamar.
Hell yes, was his.
And
Well, that's one of those you figure if you punt and the Chiefs have to go 90 yards. Well, they don't have to go 90 yards. They could have kicked a field goal, but they're going to do it.
Yeah,
you
they're
know,
gonna do it.
and then you're going to be stuck with 20
Why'd you do it?
seconds left,
Yeah, and you're also going to be
gotta
stuck with the
score.
questions in the press conference. Why'd you do
Yeah.
it? Why'd you do it? Why'd you do it?
Yeah,
And just to
So
see
if you
the-
make Mahomes go 80, 90 yards, or you make him go 40 or 50, it's he's probably going to do it.
just to
So-
see the happiness and the joy on that coaching staff and them players' faces
Yeah.
when they got that first down. I mean, that's what sports is about.
It is.
Right there. I mean,
you
that
take
was,
a shot. It could go the other way, but you make it, and game
that
turns
point-
in your favor.
At that point, barring a Joe Pisarcik,
yeah, Joe
move.
Pisarcik, yeah.
remember who that is? Anybody?
yeah.
I know the name.
Miracle at the Meadowlands.
Miracle
Herm
at the
Edwards picked
Meadowlands.
up
Oh, yeah.
the fumble when all they had to do was run the clock out. Of course, that's when the knee taking began.
Yeah.
Back then, they just handed off, and that happened, and all of a sudden,
Yeah.
all of a sudden they're taking
Snatching
knees.
the jaws of what is it? Snatching defeat from the jaws of victory.
Yeah, that's
in
exactly
that
what they
case.
did. That's exactly what they did. But Baltimore, they got quite a few injuries of their own.
Oh yeah,
But
still.
they are mentally tough. They're physically tough. They're going to be in most of their games, and quite honestly, they got one of the best coaches in the game.
They do.
in
Oh,
John,
yeah.
in John Harbaugh. Indianapolis, Tennessee. Yeah, I went with the Titans last week to win in Seattle. Yeah, remember I told you I said I'm staying with them for my Super Bowl pick. They pulled it out. They got behind big early, but somehow they found a way to win in Seattle.
And the Colts are, I mean, that's a pretty good 0-2
and could be a pretty
team.
good 0-3
yeah,
team after
they
tomorrow.
probably will be.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see how they can beat Tennessee, but that's what's fun about the NFL. When you least expect somebody to go win, they go win. That's why I like it more than any other sport.
Yep.
Most unpredictable. Chargers at Chiefs.
Ooh.
I mean, I think you got the king there in Kansas City and the upcoming Chargers. I haven't mentioned a bad matchup yet.
No, they're all good.
We're down to
they all have
game 5.
have an interest level.
They do. The Saints in New England. How's Jameis going to play against Belichick's D?
How many picks will he throw?
The Patriots are my fantasy defense. So, and they I think they scored me 15 points last week. Might get more tomorrow. Of course, I'm 0-2, so something's got to change, right? Atlanta at New York. The only thing intriguing here is somebody's going to win.
Yeah.
2 0-2s. Somebody's going to get a win
Well,
here, unless
I'm
they have a 5-quarter tie.
I'm very disappointed in the G-Man. They should have beaten Washington. I mean,
Last year I thought the head coach, Judge.
Joe Judge.
Yeah. I thought he overachieved. I thought that team played better than they were. They won some games they shouldn't have. This year seems like it's a little bit the sophomore jinx, and they've kind of digressed. And I don't know. They just don't look as sharp and as he had them believing last year. Even though they weren't winning some games, they felt like they could compete with everybody.
And they
so
were
far
in that.
this year,
They were in the race in that bad division, right?
that division's not bad anymore.
I don't think it's no.
I think 3 teams are good, and then there's the Giants.
Well,
You say Philadelphia's good?
I think Jalen Hurts is playing well.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott's healthy.
What's
so
Philly's
Dallas
record?
is good.
What's Philly's record?
Are they 2-0 or 1-1?
I think they're 1-1.
They're 1-1. Yeah, they lost
But they
to
lost
San
to San Francisco and
yeah.
gave up how many points? They lost
From
in San
17
Francisco.
to 11.
Yeah, I mean that they had a chance. I think they're much better. I think Philly's much better, and I like their new head coach, whatever his name is. It ends with a vowel. He's Italian coach.
That's right.
And they are. There's a lot more fire right now. It seems like in Philadelphia, and another place that I desire to go and watch an NFL game at some point. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see a game.
We should do it
in Philly with those fans. Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. I mean, that's 2 teams that are 1-1, if I'm not mistaken, right?
That's
2
right.
teams that are 1-1, so somebody here can, take a step forward. Arizona, Jacksonville. Arizona looks really good.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, you
Kyler
may not
Murray.
watch them. You may not watch them much, and they may not be the most popular team, but they got maybe
that division.
Oh, my
might
God.
be the best
Football.
since they've went to
Yeah.
4-team divisions. That might be the best division.
Ever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Have
I
you
mean,
seen-
all 4 of those teams are really good.
And to be honest, the AFC West is pretty stout too. If you know, with the Chargers, Raiders,
Yeah.
Kansas City, and
It is.
Denver.
Yeah, Denver's 2-0.
have you seen
But I
some
do
of-
think the NFC West is just a tad better.
Yeah.
And
I think all 4 of those teams are capable of getting to the Super Bowl.
they can't.
Well, yeah. Only one of them
Unless they change the rules.
can.
Yeah, that is Arizona could possibly have the best offensive player in the NFL and the best defensive player in the NFL.
Kyler Murray's just been making plays
You know?
that highlight real plays.
I mean, and the receiving core that he's got.
Yeah.
I mean, they're pretty doggone good. I mean, they're going to put points up every week, I would imagine, and
I think it's really starting to click for Murray in that offense with Kyle Shanahan.
they have
Kingsbury.
Kingsbury.
Kingsbury,
Cliff
I'm sorry.
Kingsbury,
Yeah, Cliff Kingsbury.
wonder
I
when-
get
wonder
those two guys
why
mixed
Shanahan's
up.
calling their plays.
I get mixed up.
You better hope they'll play them twice. He'd love to call their
I
plays.
get
Yeah.
those dudes mixed up. I don't know why. I'm sorry.
Arizona, like I said, it's not always been the most popular. They've struggled as a franchise over the years, but they are really fun to watch.
They are.
They are really fun to watch. And no lead is too big for them to overcome, with Murray playing quarterback like he is.
The way he's able to get away from the rush and get out there and throw it 50 yards on the run, it's amazing.
Listen to this one. Jets at Denver. So, in all reality, Denver should go to 3-0.
Well, yeah.
Raiders at home to take on Miami. No Tua. So, in all reality, here you go, Rodney. This is a game the Raiders have to win.
They got to win
Yeah,
this
you
game.
got to go to 3-0 when you're playing a team like Miami.
Who's quarterback in
starting-
Miami?
Well, it's Jacoby Brissett. I don't know if he's that
He's
big
not
of a
bad.
drop-off from
Well,
Tua.
Is the Tua experiment?
he may be better than Tua right now.
Yeah, Tua hadn't looked very good, and he's hurt
All the
a
time.
lot.
He's the McCaffrey of
Yeah.
quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, that's,
It appears that way.
and it started in college. I think you were
Yeah.
going to say that it started, in this, in that, awesome, gruesome. Not
And
awesome
Miami has a
injury.
pretty good roster.
They do. But boy, they were just hammered last week. What did that wind up? 30-something nothing to Buffalo. I mean,
Yeah.
and that was in Florida, wasn't it? They went down.
Yeah,
there.
it was.
Of course, Buffalo was stinging a little bit off.
Yeah,
of,
35-0.
35-0. Buffalo.
Nothing.
Buffalo looked like a
Shutout.
Super Bowl team last week. I'm
They
telling you,
did.
they looked like a Super Bowl team last week. Tampa Bay at the Rams. That's probably your highlight game of the day.
That is the game.
I mean, Brady and company going into L.A.
Yeah. Good
Right
win.
now, most people have the Rams ranked. I don't know how you do it with all the strength in the NFC, but most things I've seen have the Rams as the number 2 NFC team right now behind Tampa. So the matchup doesn't get any bigger. How about a team that finds a way to lose? The Vikings.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
They should have won last week. They should have won both weeks. But last week, all they had to do is hit a field goal at the end. Arizona let them drive down the field, line up for the field goal, kick the field goal, missed it to the right by about a foot. So Minnesota's 0-2 now and got to play Seattle. I thought that was at Seattle, but according to this, it is in Minnesota. So one of those two, either Seattle's going to be 1-2 or Minnesota's going to be 0-3, and I think they're both pretty good teams. You know? And then Green Bay and San Francisco on Sunday night. How about that early
Yeah, it's
season
always a
clash?
good match.
It
And
is.
guys,
It is.
the 49ers have pretty much owned Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. Think about their recent matchups.
Yep, they have. So that caps off a big Sunday on NBC. San Francisco at home to take on Green Bay. Wouldn't be shocked here either way it comes out. I just wouldn't be shocked.
Where's the game?
Either way, San Francisco, Santa Clara,
Santa Clara.
and then on Monday, Philadelphia and Dallas.
Wow,
I
there you
mean,
go. Another
big
good one.
rivalry game.
Another good one.
Cowboys playing at home. Pulled out a big win last week. They could easily been 0-2.
Yeah.
They could easily been 2-0. That's just the way the
Yeah.
NFL is.
Yeah, there's so many close games.
I mean, every team in the NFL we've just played 2 weeks, and I bet you every team has had a game that was just one possession and a little something here or there caused them to lose that one particular game.
Well, we know the margin, it's so thin, the line between victory and defeat in this league.
It is. We're going to take another time out real quick, though. Here's how good the NFL is. Rodney will love this part. In the AFC, no longer than we've played, we're already down to 2 undefeated teams. Right?
Yeah.
Am I reading that right?
Yeah.
Just 2.
Tampa
Denver.
Bay and AFC. Okay.
Denver and the Vegas Raiders.
Yeah.
Now, I think people would have lost money if you bet money on the final 2 to be undefeated. And of course, I think and the Raiders probably have the better resume there with wins at Pittsburgh. And who'd they beat in week 1? Baltimore?
Yeah.
That's huge.
2 good wins.
2 good wins. And then on the other side, in the NFC, as Brett mentioned earlier, the only undefeated teams are from the NFC West. Niners, Rams, Cardinals, all 2-0. And Seattle was just seconds away from being 2-0 and let one slip away to the Titans.
Oh, the Panthers and Bucks.
Did I skip them?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, the Panthers are first team to 3-0. Yep. And Tampa Bay is going to stay undefeated for a while probably. Do you think they beat the Rams tomorrow?
Yeah.
I think that's 50-50.
Toss up.
Well,
the Rams did beat them last
games,
year, so I don't know if there's any.
Yep. Out of 16 games though tomorrow, 12 of them are toss up, right? I mean,
that's
yeah.
Well, they're all toss up because it's the NFL, but there is a clear cut favorite maybe in 4, something like that.
Yeah, the one that stood out to me was Baltimore at Detroit. I mean, I'll be very surprised if Detroit beats.
But
Detroit
led the Packers last week at halftime.
Yeah, they played a really.
You have to put a complete game together.
They did.
But,
played a good first half.
They did. So, and Baltimore being a little banged up. I mean, you know how it is with Baltimore, though. It's all about how Lamar plays. I mean, if he throws picks, they're going to get beat. If he don't throw picks and, he runs for 75 yards or so.
And their defense plays its normal game.
Yep, they're going to win. All right, before we take a break, Lenny says, I agree with Mike. The Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State's lost a lot of guys to the NFL. They restocked with 18-year-old five-star players.
And they're going against 22-year-olds.
Yep. The super seniors and transfers at other schools has narrowed the gap for the time being. Right now, 18-year-olds are going against 4, 5, and in some cases 6-year players, but over time that will balance back out. And,
a great point Lenny makes, I think.
Yes, it will.
To show some of the parity we've seen so far.
I'm going to ask Rodney, and I don't know, did Lenny give us a song? I know Rodney did not give us a song yet. Rodney, our survey question today, because I saw this on Twitter the other day, Eternity in Hell, and there's one song playing on the jukebox over and over and over that just annoys you. What is the song that's playing on the jukebox?
I just thought of another. Surfer Bird by the Trash Men. Bird, 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 bird's a word.
Oh,
bird,
my
bird,
gosh.
Bird, bird, bird's a word.
Yeah, that would be.
Think about that. Over and over and over.
Hey, you're winning me over. My Mercedes-Benz by Janis Joplin might have to go by the wayside.
Yeah.
And like I said, Butch Parker's was Just a Swingin' by John Anderson.
Okay.
We've got some. I Got You, Babe, Sonny and Cher, Richard Howells.
Right.
There's some of the answers were fantastic, and I really like it when they broke them down and described why.
Why?
And told why, because I thought it was it's worth a read on Twitter if you can find it. Let's take a time out, come back and talk high school football here on Sports Talk.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. Times Convenience Stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times Convenience Stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times Convenience Stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, and then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stiefel Nicholas can assist you. Call Fort Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stiefel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
And welcome back. Glad to have you with us on Sports Talk, second half of the show this morning. Mostly about high school football. We won't even get into the Yankees beating the Red Sox last night. Sorry, Rodney. Don't have time for that nonsense.
Now, how's the battle for the second wild card is?
Well, I mean, I think Boston still has a 1-game lead over the Yankees, but it is those two right now. I don't know what Toronto did last night.
They got beat, I believe.
Yeah, I think I saw that on the scoreboard. They got beat as well. But 2 more games in Fenway this weekend for the Yankees and the Red Sox. And that's usually followed up by a 3-game series in Yankee Stadium, so I'm guessing that's what'll be going on next weekend. So,
well, now it ends. The regular season ends next weekend, correct?
Does it?
I think it's got to.
Yeah, next Sunday.
Yep, got a trivia question here. It's not really a trivia question, but we'll ask Butch Parker. Scott Cloninger inquiring, when does Bandy's play East Burke? Is there a scheduled date for that game to take place? Scott Cloninger says he's also riding down the road right now listening on his iPod to Tiny Tim. Nah, I don't see that Coach Cloninger has an iPod, first of all. Does have a Apple phone, I think, so he could put music on it. But he says his song most irritating to go through would be Tiny Tim, Tiptoe Through the Tulips. That's a 60s song, right,
60s.
Mike? Goes back to the 60s.
Does.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to hear that one over and over.
No.
Lenny says Toronto lost yesterday 3-1. I don't know who they were playing, but Toronto did lose yesterday by
Minnesota
by a score of 3-1. The White Sox clinched this week, right?
They did.
Yeah, White Sox have clinched.
And Tampa Bay's on the verge.
Tampa Bay's on the verge with 95 wins for Tampa. So Tampa, White Sox, Astros, they're all going to win divisions, be in the playoffs. And then while we got it here just for a second, Mike was inquiring about the wild card standings. Boston and the Yankees would be in. Seattle has now
6 in a row,
even with Toronto.
Yeah.
And Seattle's just 2 games out. I mean, that's not.
No.
I mean, that's still achievable. But if you're Seattle, you have to hope either the Red Sox win the next 2 or the Yankees sweep the whole series, that they don't split, because when they split, it kind of makes it a little, they need to catch one of them. They don't need to catch them both. They need to catch one of those 2 teams. And, of course, if they keep winning, they don't care if they split or not.
Yeah.
If they're beating up on each other, they don't care. They might even wind up getting the game in Seattle. But Oakland's kind of slipped a little. And Toronto's really slipped. Toronto's lost 3 straight, and they've only won 4 of their last 10. They hit the ball well. Usually hit the ball well, does Toronto. But
where's that National
night,
League
3-1.
West? Look that up real quick.
Well, first I'll give you the wild cards, which tells me that the Giants are still in the lead, because the Dodgers lead the wild card race. The Cardinals are second, and that's pretty much. It's going to be the Cardinals playing somebody.
Yeah.
The Cardinals are either going to play the Giants or the Dodgers.
The Cardinals have won 14 in a row.
14 in a row. Butch didn't even lay that on me this morning either. But the Cardinals have won 14 in a row. And what better time? Is there a better time to get hot than down the stretch
That's right.
and clinching a playoff spot? And I'd say they've clinched it. I'd say pretty much that. I mean, not
They've moved to within
by numbers,
7 games of Milwaukee. I mean, they're probably not going to catch Milwaukee, but they were probably 20 games
well, if
out
they win the
at
next
one point.
14, they might. 14 straight for the Cardinals.
Well, they should only have about 7 games left.
But the
Maybe
Giants,
8.
Mike, the Giants just lead the Dodgers by 1.
I know, still.
One
I'm
game.
worried.
100 wins, and they only have a
Winning
1-game
that
lead.
division is so big. I mean,
Yeah, because the loser is going to have to play the Cardinals in a 1-game.
who were the
Scenario.
hottest team in baseball.
I do love what I'm seeing here from Lenny.
Oh, it's
Now, it'll probably come back to haunt me, okay? The Red Sox finished the season with 3 at Baltimore and 3 at Washington.
well.
Now, it's on the road, but you couldn't ask for your schedule to line up better.
Yeah, those teams have nothing to play for.
Nothing.
And they haven't all year.
Yeah, since April, those teams have had nothing to play
He
for.
said the Yankees finished with 3 at Toronto and 3 with Tampa.
Ooh, tough.
Let me call the schedule makers back again and thank them
Yeah.
for their hospitality. I'm just
Somebody up there likes you.
kidding. I doubt it. I doubt it. As we get into high school football, I do want to mention something that Rodney sent me last week, and I overlooked it. He was talking about going to Reidsville. Remember I mentioned that last week that he said West went to Reidsville a couple years back, played in the playoff game, got beat 51-0. I said, why do you want to bring that up? Losing 51-0. Of course, it's no shame in going to Reidsville and losing 51-0 because of who they are. But he said the thing that he put on here that I missed was that West Lincoln got a first down late in the first quarter. The coach was upset with his defense, took 11 out, put 11 in, didn't miss a beat.
Yeah.
So, well, they not only did not miss a beat, they did not allow another first down.
Wow.
I guess on that drive.
Yeah.
But yeah, just he said they had 60 players dressed out, and one of them teams you can't tell the difference between the first 11 and the last 11 that are on the field.
Our program is just at another level.
Yeah. It's 2A playoffs are going to be interesting when we get, especially with no splits and stuff, and you have the Max Prep's West rankings this week have Maiden at the top, and I think Salisbury was 2 if I'm not mistaken, Reidsville 3, and Shelby 4. And that's a stout top 4. West Lincoln was 9th in there, and I don't know how the score last night. I don't know how it'll affect those standings because number 1 played number 9. Number 9 lost by 6.
Yep.
I never did see it. Was it
2014?
So,
yes.
What happened to the extra point on that final touchdown?
It was supposed to be just a regular point after, but there was a issue with the snap, and Maiden kicker ended up running it and got tackled.
I just wondered because you keep waiting on that extra point to pop up on the scoreboard, or whatever, and it don't happen. So you don't know if it just got omitted.
Botched
because,
point after
because of the excitement
run
at the end. But that was the highlight game of the night last night in this immediate area. Was West Lincoln and Maiden playing at West Lincoln last night. It went the way. Let's put it this way. It went the way West Lincoln wanted it to go, except for winning the game, Mike. They kept the thing low scoring.
Yeah. I mean, I told you during the break, West Lincoln did just about everything they had to do to win the game, except win
the game.
Yeah. They had a turnover, which cost them because the game was tied at 14. A botched pitch went an errant pitch on a option play, and unfortunately it happened at a point in the game where Maiden still had some time to put together a drive, and they did. 59-yard 13-play drive, and they ended it with a 3-yard run by the quarterback
Ethan Rhodes.
3-yard run, only 8 seconds left. That's the ball game. So but you look at everything else. West Lincoln dominated time of possession. They kept.
That's what they had to do to stay in.
Yeah, they kept Maiden's explosive offense off the field. They had very long drives. They had 265 yards rushing, 2 100-plus yard rushers, and Trace Gilmore and Mason Avery. So they did just about everything. They did give up 2 big chunk plays, unfortunately for them. One was a 39-yard touchdown run on a reverse by Christopher Culliver, and another in the third quarter, 63-yard catch and run by Culliver. It was just a pass out in the flat. Anybody else, it probably would have been about a 10 or 15-yard gain, but Culliver, with his athleticism and speed, he turned it into a big play for a touchdown. So they gave up 2 chunk plays, did everything right, but the turnover came at a bad time.
And also, I want to say this too. You got to give Maiden's defense some credit to hold West Lincoln twice on the 1.
Yeah, that was huge. The score was still tied at 1.
How much time at that point?
There was about 4 or 5 minutes left.
Okay.
Get this. West Lincoln had driven consistently down the field from their own 17, had a 1st and goal at the 6, 4 straight cracks at the Maiden defense. Maiden held at the 1 on 4th and 1. Mason Avery was stopped for no gain. Huge goal line stand by the Maiden defense.
Was it any controversy at all? Was he close? Was he hitting the backfield?
He pretty much got
stopped.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people were complaining that why didn't they go wide? Why didn't they try?
Well, everybody's got an opinion after the plays.
After the play,
Well, they went with their bread and butter.
They went with their bread and butter.
What they do best.
Well, if you don't score, then they didn't say why didn't we go with our best option.
Just give Maiden's defense credit.
4th and goal at the 1, I'd take my chances with Avery running the ball too.
And they did twice.
Yeah,
and they did twice. Yeah. And they tried Trace Gilmore one time. He got a couple of yards on that little counter they run with off the wing back. But, yeah, let's give Maiden's defense stood up a couple times to keep West Lincoln from scoring and taking the lead. So it was a terrific game. Mostly clean, except kind of toward the end there were a few personal fouls. But
I don't think West Lincoln has anything to hang their heads about this morning.
I mean, absolutely not.
A team that's been averaging 50 and a half.
Yeah, they held them. They held them to 20 points and 14 points for all but 8 seconds of the game.
That's exactly right.
I thought West Lincoln played a terrific game, and you give Maiden credit. They obviously have grit and determination and championship mettle to get that touchdown and put it all together there at the end of the game.
The biggest win, I think, maybe for Maiden last night on winning on the road was if these two teams play again down the road, it's likely to be in Maiden.
Yeah.
Unless West Lincoln basically has to overcome a 2-game deficit in the conference. It's not just one, because if they wind up tied right now, Maiden has the upper hand with the head-to-head, so they have to overcome a 2, and Maiden.
It's hard to see Maiden losing 2 times.
Yeah, I don't see them losing at all, but I don't think I really would put the house on not losing twice.
Well, I just think they're going to run the table. I mean, I think their biggest challenge was last night. You never know, but I mean, let's be realistic. I mean, who that was just their first conference game.
Yeah, they've got some rivalry games in there. Yeah, they're going to be favored in all those games. But
well, here's the thing,
Bandy's,
too, guys.
Newton, Lincoln, Bunker Hill.
They've got this.
Bunker Hill could challenge them.
Yeah, and they got this 3-game gauntlet coming up. They got to play Tuesday against Bunker Hill, correct? Or is it East Burke? East Burke.
And then West Caldwell on Saturday. Yeah. But they'll be heavily favored in both of those.
in both those games.
Rodney,
still, that's a lot of play, and you could get guys hurt.
Rodney says West Lincoln uncharacteristically tackled poorly last night. That's his opinion. Now, believe me, he's seen some West Lincoln football in his day.
Open field, they did, particularly against Culliver. They had a couple
he's not the easiest to tackle.
No, he's not.
He's not. Overall, pretty good game, Rodney says. Yeah. West Lincoln had their chances to win.
They did.
So, hey, when you're playing a team as good as Maiden, as good as they are on offense, and the points they can put up, and you have a chance to win, that's all you can ask for. That's all you can ask for.
I think that sums it up.
Yep. And, I mean, it's for the Rebels, they're probably, just I know how I would be. So this morning there's a lot of ifs, ands, and buts. You know what I mean? So that's exactly the way I would be. But as Coach Avery said this morning when he sent me a text, I can sulk for 4 hours, but got to move on because we got Bunker Hill next.
And that's going to be a tough game.
It is.
That's a really good matchup. I think I've seen Bunker Hill play, and
they run the ball too.
Right? They're pretty good.
You cannot afford a letdown at this point. Not if you want to stay in the top 2 here.
That's a big game for.
Yeah, that could be the battle for second place in the conference.
It is right now.
Yeah,
it is right now. And you have to look.
Bunker Hill's probably looking at it like they're still in contention to win the conference. But
But what I meant to say was, though, is for Bunker Hill, if they win it, they got a 2-game lead on West Lincoln.
Yeah.
And the tiebreaker.
That's right.
So West Lincoln all but in a must-win. You're just in a must-win situation. In conference play, you have to win, or you're not gonna win the conference. You have to win every week, basically.
Yeah.
Because most conferences, the champion's going undefeated, and at worst,
for West Lincoln, they should be looking at it like the more games they win from here on out, the better their seeding is going to be in the playoffs.
Yep.
So, they're probably not going to win the conference.
No.
Now.
No.
But you could still get a home game in the playoffs.
Well, yeah. But you have to keep winning in case the opportunity for you to win the conference does.
And it could, I mean, they could beat Bunker Hill. Bunker Hill beat Maiden, and it ended a 3-way tie. I mean, that way Maiden wouldn't have to lose.
That's true. I didn't think about it that way.
Twice.
And then be co-champs in a drawing. David Avery told me this morning his text was, got 4 hours and 15 minutes. He had it counted down to salt. Then got to get ready for Bunker Hill. So that means they'll be in meetings today later and talking about Bunker Hill.
I mean, that's a matchup I would like to see. I wish that one was on a Saturday, because I think those two teams match up with each other pretty well.
Butch Parker there at the game last night said, fun game to watch. Maiden was without their best defensive player. West Lincoln did what they do well. Mason carried a heavy load. Mason Avery he's talking about carried a heavy load. They also ran the option well. Plus City Lunch hot dogs, tip of the cap to the Rebels. So, yeah.
Yep.
Well,
that's
you sold me on the City Lunch hot dog.
I want to think they ran out at some point fairly early on the.
Ran out of hot dogs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure there was a good crowd.
Oh yeah,
for that one.
Yeah, probably.
Yes, there was.
Probably one of the bigger crowds in the area this season. I would guess. I mean, there was a lot of people. If you didn't really have a game that you just had to see, that's where you were going.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's probably, maybe 500 people like that, maybe that.
Yeah, and those are two teams that fill up their bleachers.
Yep, they do. Right.
Regardless,
they have big crowds anyway.
Yeah,
and then you throw in it's a battle of two undefeated teams.
The highlight for me was game announcer Mark Beam was able to get in his signature phrase, "Tackled by a regiment of rebels."
He says, always great hospitality, plus a nice tribute last night to Sumo, our friend, the late Jonathan Schruntz.
Short script read in the press box by none other than the Truck.
The Truck.
Rick
Good.
Mitchum.
Good. I'm glad. And hopefully, Rick was supposed to. Hopefully, he got me some photos.
Another thing, guys, I think on October 15th, West Lincoln's homecoming game.
That's Sumo's birthday.
Family.
That's his birthday.
Yeah, Sumo's family will be there to get some gifts and some memorabilia in honor of Jonathan.
Let's see. Game I was at last night. East Lincoln they've really hit the tough road. I mean, their injuries have decimated the Mustangs, and they are really struggling playing a young freshman at quarterback, who I thought the way Mike described him last week was going to be this 6'5".
No, I didn't.
Yeah. I don't know why. I just had it in my head.
He's not 6'5".
He was closer to 5'6".
Yeah.
But did the best he could last night. Against a very good Statesville defense. Statesville
must be
athletes all over the field. Gruesome injury early in that game into the first quarter. Had to take a young man off by stretcher. I understood his leg snapped in two.
Oh.
But everything looked good when he was leaving. Give the crowd and the fans. Rodney sends me a picture of Jonathan, which is great here at West Lincoln last night. But Statesville just dominated the game. I mean, the stat sheet don't look like it, but the whole game was played pretty much on the, East Lincoln end with their backs to the wall. Mm-hmm. Greyhounds go on top in the first quarter. Just athletes everywhere. You just wouldn't believe. It's typical Statesville. What you remember, Mike, 30 years ago.
Still the same.
Yeah, a lot of athletes out there. Under the direction of Coach Randall Gussler, once at West Lincoln.
1 year at West, or was it two?
I don't know. I just remember he was there, and I think he went straight to Statesville. If I'm not mistaken, he went to Statesville from West Lincoln
as an assistant, and then got.
Is that what it was?
I think he started out as an assistant.
Yeah, but Statesville ran 34 times, 186 yards. East Lincoln 38 carries, 123. It's down.
That's a low average.
Did OJ play for East?
Yes.
He did.
Yes. OJ did play for East Lincoln. That's Orlandis Johnson Howell.
Right.
For the Mustangs last night, he had 16 carries, 42 yards.
Yeah,
just a modest 42 yards.
Not much of a factor.
Tajay Johnson was the leader, 14 carries, 66 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing.
It sounds like they're not much of a threat in the passing game, and that allows the defense to
not without Mizell
play the run.
I'm going to throw this trivia out there for you real quick. And I know you got no idea, but the quarterback that filled in, right? He attempted 18 passes. How many did he complete?
6.
4.
11.
Oh, wow.
11 for 18. The
Very
yardage.
Short yardage.
The yardage, want to guess?
85.
11 completions for 46 yards.
You know what?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those went negative.
Hey, same thing happened to him against Hickory.
Five.
So they had no downfield threat.
No downfield
Yeah.
threat whatsoever.
Yeah. They had one guy downfield and was going to make a catch, was going to gain about 35 yards right down the middle of the field on a post pattern. Right when he caught it, he got hammered and the ball flew out, and he was slow to get up. He got hit pretty hard.
Are their receivers back?
Clark played last night.
And what about number 2?
Yeah, Kendra
Walker.
Was it Walker?
I don't think he played. I don't remember him. Let's see.
I know against Lincoln he was out, and then Clark went out
two
early.
did play. He caught one pass for 10 yards. Two passes for 13 yards. Number 3 played, had a modest night, just not much there. Had a catch he did catch a 16-yard touchdown. Clark did. But no Jeremiah Jones. They said he would. I heard, nobody gave me this officially, but I did hear in the rumbling in the press box that about 4 weeks before he can return. Quarterback's going to be another 3 to 4 weeks. Fortunately for them, the schedule lightens up quite a bit.
Yes.
They're not going to be. They're 0-2. They're not going to be in the running for a conference championship. It's Statesville's to lose now. I know they do play Hickory, but Hickory now has a loss as well because North Lincoln got them last night. But it's Statesville's conference to lose at this point.
Oh, yeah.
And East Lincoln's just going to be fighting for a playoff berth.
Yeah.
Now, with what they've got, there's 4 games in there we know they should win.
Yeah.
So and then they'll close the season with North Lincoln, and maybe they'll be healthy by the time they play North Lincoln, and that game might be meaningful too.
And one good thing about it, there's always some bright spot. I think the Boiling kid, he does have a good arm and a quick release. This is good experience for him for the future, because one day he might be the guy. And I'm sure that Mizell's just a junior, right?
Yes.
So he'll have another year, but good experience for this young kid, thrown right into the fire in these big conference games. I think he, in time, will be a decent quarterback for East Lincoln.
Yeah, some of those Statesville playmakers last night, I would look at the roster and kind of peek at it, and it would say sophomore. And oh yeah. Now quarterback, now he's really good. He's really sharp, really good at what he does. And he makes plays. He's a he's in the not Lamar Jackson, because he's not. He wants to throw it first, but when he does get loose, he's very elusive. And
in other words, he can turn
a bad play into a good play. Yeah, he can. Butch says Gusler had the unenviable task of following me at West Lincoln after I taught them what not to do for 3 years. LOL. I love Butch's sense of humor.
That's pretty funny, what not to do.
Sense of humor. That's great. I did not know he followed Coach Parker.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, East Lincoln, I mean, I know, they're not going to approach anything as like the schedule does get lighter. You're not ever going to hear a coach say that. But they're going to welcome some of these matchups they got coming now, because basically they're playing a real young team, against some of these veteran teams.
Yeah, and as you say, you got Ford and.
No offense to Hickory, but I feel like if East Lincoln was fully had their full deck, they would have won the Hickory game. Maybe not last night against Statesville, but they would have been much more competitive.
I really think they would have beaten Hickory.
Well, you just give Mizell, put him on the field.
Mizell on.
They lost by 1 point. Come on, the
put Mizell on that team.
Chances of winning the game.
And they did miss 3 field goals, and they had a point after blocked. So that hurt too.
Yep. And I've seen so many teams struggle with special teams this year. But
you're right.
Yeah, and East Lincoln's one of them. You rarely see that happen.
They usually have good special teams.
But it has happened to them. It has happened to them this year. Butch, when does East Burke and Bandy's play? I'm getting asked that. Does East Burke and Bandy's? They didn't play last night, did they? I don't even know the answer to that.
No, they didn't.
Okay.
99% sure they're not playing this weekend. I think it must be scheduled for a Tuesday down the road.
Kicked off at
sometime.
9 this morning. No, I'm just kidding.
I saw a post on East Burke's Twitter feed that they were practicing this morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I don't think it's
Well, they didn't play last night.
Or today.
West Rowan beat South Rowan 55-16. We're gonna go through some of these scores. But I guess before I should get going on those, because this one may not even be on my scoreboard, and I don't want to go. I don't have much to report on it. But Lincoln finally got in the win column last night. They win at Newton Conover. Losing streak dating back to last year. And they actually had to come from behind in that game. I mean, it was 17-7 Newton Conover in the second half, and Lincoln scored 2 touchdowns. One, I think, came with like a minute 17 to go for Lincoln to get their first win of the year, 21-17 at Newton. So that gives you all 3 scores in the I didn't leave one out, did I? 3 scores.
No,
Bunker
because
Hill.
Bandy's.
I did. I left
Bunker Hill beat
Bunker
West
Hill
Caldwell.
rolled 40-0. Bunker Hill rolled 40-0 in their game. They still undefeated too.
Yep, 5-0.
How about that?
And play West Lincoln next.
Play West Lincoln next at Bunker, if I'm not mistaken.
It is.
Okay, at Bunker. So, Bunker Hill was, good to see. They really had a good, really strong year-and-a-half run with football at Bunker Hill and doing real well. And like we said earlier, do not rule them out. They're undefeated. You can't rule them out of a conference championship.
I know one thing Lincoln did last night that surprised me. They made 3 extra points.
Mm-hmm. In the kicking game, hadn't made one all year.
They had struggled with extra points,
period.
punts, the snapping, all that. So
I didn't even think about that.
I don't know what they did different, but they made all 3 of their extra points because it went from 7. They started with 7, 14. It wasn't. Yeah. They never went for 2.
Yep. I did not think about that. Yeah, we'll have to ask. Coach Cloninger will tell me what may have.
And I hate I missed that game. I just wasn't able to be there. But
Yep. Brett's had a tough week dealing with some issues, family issues, and COVID, of course. So. Let's see. West Rowan 55, South Rowan 16. You guys stop me on any of these you want to say something about. Randleman beat Montgomery Central 20-14. New Hanover down at Wilmington lost last night 6-3.
I saw that
to South Brunswick.
You don't see those kind of scores too often.
No, you don't. Very, very low scoring game last night. According to Rodney Willis, he's sending me a schedule here. It says East Burke football. East Burke and Maiden to play on. East Burke and Bandy's. I'm sorry. It says what I'm reading says last night, but
yeah, it had to be rescheduled. I don't think East Burke was able to play
unless I'm missing something
yet, because of their COVID issues.
Is that what it was?
I think so. Yeah, I think they had to reschedule a couple
what else
games
could it be
for Tuesdays.
What else could it be when you don't have a
they've been off for like 3 weeks?
What I'm thinking, Butch had already told us that. Well, let me think a minute. That Bandy's with. I don't know. I'm confused. I got it all mixed up. There's so many reschedules and changes that I've got it all mixed up. That I think that may involve a game the next week.
I know East Burke and Maiden are playing this coming Tuesday.
Scott Cloninger said Lincoln had 4 turnovers last night in the first half, but kept battling in the second half and didn't turn the ball over one time in the second half. So what a difference it makes, right? Butch says they play Tuesday after the Maiden. They play the Tuesday after they play Maiden. So they play Maiden on a Friday. Then they'll play that's Bandy's he's talking about. And we're talking about East Burke on October 12th.
Okay.
So there you go, Coach Cloninger. Bandy's and East Burke October 12th. And check your calendar and make sure that is a Tuesday. Next this coming Friday's October 1st, right? So,
that's right.
Yeah. Would be my dad's whatever birthday, 80-something if he were still here, October 1st. West Forsyth Parkland. That would have been a one I want to keep up with, but no score. Pine Lake Prep beat Winston-Salem Prep 20-0. Ledford beats Clinton. That seems like
That's
a long
weird
haul.
matchup.
That's a long haul, too. And both teams wear the same colors. 35-18, Ledford beats Clinton last night. I guess it's one of those deals where, hey, we need a game.
Yeah.
We don't have one. We'll play who we can, even if it means a lot of travel. Wonder if Clinton will return them the favor. See my previous. I don't know what that one means, but he has a lot of previouses on here. The only previous I can see when as City Lunch hot dog. That's the only thing that stands out to me when I read the previous text from Coach Parker this morning. Lake Norman Charter beat Christ the King 48-8. It was Winston-Salem Glen over Reagan 33-7. Carry over Apex 53-42. High scoring game there. Concord over Central Cabarrus 22-20. Central Cabarrus has had their struggles this year. That's for sure. J.H. Rose over South Central 42-0. Wilson Hunt 35. Smithville Selma nothing. A lot of Eastern scores here being reported. As we mentioned, Statesville over East Lincoln 23-6. Let's see, trying to find West. This is a Raleigh score here. Garner defeated Clayton 21-20 in a close one. Burlington Williams over Orange County 28-0. Butler over Providence 20-0. Central Davidson over J.F. Webb 34-6. Asheville defeats Irwin last night. Asheville's really come on strong. Remember, they struggled the first couple weeks. Mm-hmm. They've really come on strong as of late. Last night over Irwin 49-14. North Lincoln over Hickory. I don't have any details in front of me to give you anything on that one, but North Lincoln, their defense is going to be there every week. If you remember, they held Statesville. Now we know how good Statesville is. They held Statesville to what, 14?
14.
Yeah. They win last night 21-6 over Hickory to get back in the win column, get that conference win. Southern Durham falls to Havelock 34-2. Chase over McDowell 47-14. West Charlotte over West Meck 62-13. Mallard Creek over Hopewell 39-0. Eastern Alamance 41. Western Alamance 20. West Bladen 14. Fairmont 12. Charlotte Catholic over Independence last night. Guess what? That's two 4A schools playing against each other. Catholic,
yeah, it's a conference game now.
Is it? Catholic beats Independence 17-6. North Iredale over St. Stephen's. Cost me last night on the pick'em board once again.
Me too.
North Iredale wins that one last night 15-6. Is that two in a row now for North Iredale?
Yeah, it is.
After 3 years.
Ended a long
After a 3-year streak of losing games, North Iredale gets back-to-back wins. So good for them. Weddington beat Olympic 28-0. East Columbus falls to Jones County 14-13. East Wake 28, CB Aycock 14. Farmville Central over Riverside Martin 27-20. Wallace Rose Hill over South Lenoir 76-26. Wallace Rose Hill is the Bulldogs. Is that right, Mike, or do you remember?
Yes.
Okay. Parkwood over Buford 50-21. I had money on that one. Southwest Onslow 41, North Lenoir 20. Jacksonville over Newbern 29-28. Myers Park beats Cardinal Gibbons. Battle of heavyweights.
I was going to tell you. Go ahead and tell the
16-13.
score. Cardinal Gibbons this year, they've played 5 non-conference games.
Oh, Lord. 4
of those, they played Julius Chambers, Richmond County, Wake Forest, and now Myers Park.
Up next week, Alabama, and the following week, Kansas City Chiefs.
or Georgia.
Now, they beat Richmond and Wake Forest and lost to Chambers and
Is that the
Myers
toughest
Park.
schedule in the state?
Or the nation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And they
definitely
did
the
play
toughest
one
in the
other
state.
game, Green Level, who they beat 63-0. But those other 4 are, I mean, that's about as tough of a
Green
schedule as you
Level.
can play.
It's Cardinal Gibbons, the other private school that, along with Charlotte Catholic, that plays in the public leagues.
Green Level, you think their colors are orange and yellow or something? Green Level.
Green Level Gators
The Green Level.
Level.
Gators.
from Cary.
I wonder how they got the name green. I'm interested to know in how you get the name Green Level for the high school. I mean, any idea out there? That's a great trivia question. Lenny says Huff beat Chambers last night. Yeah, I saw that one last night. I was keeping up with it because that was the big game last night, actually in the state as far as the 4A's go. And Huff did beat Chambers last night, 16-10. I'm not exactly sure where that one was played, but 16-10 last night. The win for Huff, and that's a big win for Huff to get over that hump. And they'll probably meet again, somewhere down the road in the playoffs. East Forsyth beat Davie County 59-21. R.J. Reynolds falls to Mount Tabor 41-20. I think Mount Tabor suffered a loss last week, right? Didn't we talk about them losing last week?
One of the Forsyths,
yeah,
I think.
Yeah, and then bounce back and win last night. Dixon High defeats Heidi Trask 52-32. Charlotte Latin, big private school game last night. Latin beats Charlotte Christian 24-22. TC Roberson over North Buncombe 34-0. Mountain Island Charter falls to Community School of Davidson 23-14. Here you go, Mike. Nightdale 33, Cape Fear 13.
Oh,
Coming
it's missing score on mine.
Yeah, well, you wish it was still missing, right?
Still, yeah, I wish that was missing in action.
Yeah. Lenny says he thinks the game was played at Memorial Stadium last night between Huff and Chambers. And that would make sense. That's where Mecklenburg County plays a lot of their bigger matchups. And
that was Butch calling. He was just clarifying East Burke and Bandy's will play on Tuesday, October 12th.
Yep.
And what he was saying was Bandy's a maiden play Friday, October 10th.
Yeah.
So that game will follow. Bandy's will have to play maiden on Friday, East Burke on Tuesday, and then Newton on Friday. So an 8-day stretch, they play 3 games
Friday's
there.
not October the 10th, is it?
Did I say the 10th?
Yeah.
October 8th is when they play maiden.
Okay, there you go. 10th's a Sunday.
They play the 8th, the 12th, and the 15th.
Yep. You have to have 3 full days in between.
Yeah.
He informed me of that. You have to have 3 days completely off, no game before you can play another one. So it does change the schedules up a little bit, but hopefully for everybody it keeps going. I think this week was a little more smoothly than the previous 4 or 5. Don't you?
Yeah, I think there were fewer.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of as many cancellations. The only one I'm aware of is East Burke and Bandy's.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only one I'm aware of at this point. And I'm sure there were more, but that's the only one I mean, I can look at the scoreboard here and see all these games didn't just get left off. I mean, there are probably some COVID-related games on here as well. But yeah, I think we did somewhat better. We're probably getting over the Labor Day surge,
Yep.
the holiday weekend that we had, and maybe we're starting to settle down a little bit after that surge. East Mac 31, Garinger 14. It was South Mac 44, Berry Academy 10. Northeastern defeated Eatonton Holmes 38-13. Scotland County 42, Southern Lee nothing. See, I hadn't even seen this score. Shelby 55, Thomas Jefferson 7.
I hadn't seen
last
that one
night.
either.
Yeah, I think Thomas
no
Jefferson
surprise.
scored first.
Did they? Should have quit. Got COVID right quick.
Well, didn't Cherryville score first on Shelby too?
I think Shelby scored first, but Cherryville scored on their first play.
Okay.
80-yard pass. I
Right.
think that's the way that one went. I may be wrong, but I think that's the way it went. Bessemer last night with a win beats Highland Tech 32-8 for Bessemer City. High Brighton rolls over South Lake Christian last night. I'm guessing those two, again, just needing a game because that's obviously
had to
not a
be
conference
it.
game. 42-19 for High Brighton. The Green Sea Floyds beat West Columbus 42-20. Richmond County over Pinecrest 28-21. We mentioned this earlier. Bunker Hill remains undefeated. They beat West Caldwell 40-0. Maiden scores with 8 seconds to go, beats West Lincoln 20-14. RS Central over Brevard last night 41-30. Pretty good win for the Hilltoppers. Defeating Brevard. Drone over Avery County 42-22. Kings Mountain rolls over North Gaston 56-0. Starmount 13, North Stokes nothing. East Gaston over Cherryville 50-14. What's East Gaston's record now, guys?
I
Are
think
they
that's like third.
2-4,
win.
3-3?
2 and 3, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking they're over 500.
Just
It could be.
really improving. Really
Yeah.
improving.
I know they lost to South Point.
but it was tied at halftime.
I don't remember another loss.
I think they lost 35-7 to South.
They're 3-2.
but they were
3-2.
They lost to South Point and Kramer,
Okay.
Okay.
And Kramer was also a one score.
28-21.
Yeah.
They beat North Gaston, Cherokee, and Cherryville.
Right.
Hickory Ridge over Mooresville, 45-19. That's an up and coming program at Hickory Ridge. Murphy over Union County. Wow, that's some travel. Murphy 54, Union County 24. I just wonder if that's the North Carolina Union County or a different one.
Well, there's no Union County High School.
Well, I
In
know. I
North
thought maybe it's
Carolina.
one of
So it's
those
gotta-
academies is what I mean.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I would think it's
I may be
South
wrong.
Carolina or Tennessee.
Or Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be any of those. I could hover over here and see, but it's not going to tell me. Mountain Heritage beat Rosman 52-13. South Davidson over Lexington 12-6. West Cabarrus over Cox Mill 10-6. Some defense being played. Mount Pleasant 56, Union Academy. That's maybe the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Mount Pleasant 56, Union Academy. Nothing. Harding falls to Nation Ford, South Carolina 55-15. East Surrey over North Surrey 56-22. Grimsley over Northwest Guilford 55-21. Chapel Hill, female playing free safety for Chapel Hill. Chapel Hill undefeated on the season. They win 49-0 last night against East Chapel Hill. Lee County over Hoke County 34-6. Forest View, what a defense they've got, guys.
Yeah.
Shut out Ashbrook last night 24-0. The Jags just keep getting it done.
And this was after Ashbrook scored like 28 against Crest
Yeah.
the week before.
Yeah, Forest View's defense is going to keep them in all their games. You recall they lost to Burns 8-6,
That's right.
and I think they have another loss, but it was obviously
East
another.
Lincoln.
That's right, East Lincoln scored 31 on them.
Yeah.
So it tells you what a difference, injuries, what injuries will do to your team.
It is.
Murphy defeated, I already said that one, Union County 54-24. West Henderson 41, East Henderson 7. Chatham Central 21. Jordan Matthews 7. Boy, I remember there was a time Jordan Matthews was a team you kept an eye on all the time in 1A and 2A maybe from time to time. McMichael beat T.W. Andrews. Boy, I tell you what, that may be a first. McMichael beat T.W. Andrews 49-6. We know T.W. Andrews' history, state championships, good team. McMichael's just always struggled, and last night beat them, if that score is correct, 49-6. No score on Patton and Madison. I think I saw that somewhere. I was thinking like Patton won that game, but maybe I'm totally wrong. Forbush beat West Wilkes 48-3. Andrews beat North Georgia 41-16. Crest over Kramer 35-16. Dudley over Atkins 55-0. Southern Guilford over Northeast Guilford 28-0. Mitchell County beats Owen 55-27. Hendersonville over Polk 56-25. Sun Valley over Central. Is that Monroe or Central Academy? I guess that's Central Academy. 30-0 Sun Valley with the win. Page over Ragsdale 43-14. Hayesville over Georgia Force Christian 28-21. Thomasville rolls over North Rowan. Thomasville beat soundly last week by
Reedsville? Is that who it was?
It might have
Who was
been. It might have been. They win this week. They're 3 or 4-1. Thomasville's
Yeah.
back. They're playing pretty good.
And they're 1A now, right?
I think so. 59-18 over North Rowan. That's something you'd have to look up, though, because with the new classifications.
I think they're 1A.
Okay. West Davidson falls to Salisbury. Salisbury's 2A.
Yeah.
Look out. Defending 2A state champs. 69-6 last night over West Davidson. Northern Guilford 43, Southeast Guilford 6. It's got Langton Bandy's score. How'd that
Yeah, I
happen?
saw that.
That's a great prediction. It actually is the Langton Newton Conover score, so it's got it on there by mistake. 21-17. Langton gets their first win of the season. Jack Britt 27, Lumberton 7, Mount Airy 48, South Stokes 6. Tuscola over Franklin 21-17. Rockingham County over Ben L. Smith 33-0. What do you think? What do you expect when you play a whole county against one guy like that? Northmore 26, Bartlett Yancey I want to know what I love their logo. You see it, Brett Bartlett Yancey, the pirate?
Oh, no.
In the orange, 26-8. Yeah, I'd like to see that close up. Still quite a few here. Lake Norman beats A.L. Brown 14-13. Southview over Douglasburg 55-0. South Point rolls over Hunter Huss 42-7. Tarboro 48, Bertie 0. Walkertown 40, West Oaks 13. Fayetteville 71st 34. Grays Creek nothing. Ashe County over North Wilkes 28-7. Southwestern Randolph over Asheboro 17-7. Robbinsville over Lenore City. I'm guessing that's probably a Tennessee or something as well. 35-19. And David, not Davy anymore.
I know.
But David Crockett beats Pisgah 28
David Crockett
to 14. Surprise of the night.
Yeah.
No, I'm asking you. That was a question.
Were there any surprises?
Yeah, well, nobody really knows, but I'm going to say McMichael beating T.W. Andrews.
Okay.
If that really happened. Now, I know it's not in our area, but, McMichael's always in that conference with
Reidsville.
They're always owing whatever it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
And if they really beat T.W. Andrews and we're able to beat them by a margin of that, that's a big step forward for them and their program.
I just didn't see a lot of surprises.
No. Unlike the NFL tomorrow, there weren't that many great matchups.
Well, this says
night.
McMichael is 3-2.
Okay.
And they have a win over West Stokes.
Well, that's a big win, too. West
they
Stokes
beat Carver and T.W. Andrews. T.W. Andrews just 1-3.
Yeah,
but they are still in the conference with Reidsville.
Well, it hadn't been that many years ago. We saw T.W. Andrews in the state championship, I think, against South Point in 3A. So, that's
wasn't it them in Monroe that one year on Friday night?
May have been. Maybe that's what I'm thinking about.
Andrews no, they might have played. I think they did play South Point.
Lenny's a man that gets around. He said probably Union County, Tennessee, over near Knoxville.
There you go.
Dang, Lenny. You have been to some games.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm with you guys. I don't know that much about. I can't find many surprises or any surprises.
Yeah, looks like last time McMichael played T.W. Andrews, they lost 54-7, which was 2 years ago. So a lot's changed since that game.
And then they beat them last night. Wow, how quick things can turn. Even in high school. That's
They had, looks like before this year, they had 2 wins in their last 3 seasons.
Any final songs out there? We got about a minute and a half to go. Any final songs that you don't want playing for eternity?
Yeah, instead of Surfer Bird by the Trashmen, I'm going with that little oldie ditty, Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny Yellow Polka Dot Bikini.
Only Mike.
If I had to hear that for eternity.
What about It's My Party and I'll Cry if I want to?
Leslie Gore.
Listen to Mike.
Not as bad as.
Listen to Brett knowing that song.
I know. He knew Leslie Gore, her first song, her first hit. Great.
And Mike commenting on it, giving the artist. Lenny says, haven't been there, just aware of it. Talking about that academy, that Union Academy near Knoxville. So, yeah.
Have you guys picked your worst song for eternity, for hell?
Oh, Mama's Mercedes-Benz.
Mercedes-Benz, you're sticking with that?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, because I can just hear that. Oh, that voice would just drive me crazy.
Won't you buy me?
I'd want it to get drowned out by the guitar and the instruments, and there are none.
There are none. It's a cappella.
Yeah.
Therefore.
Yeah. Yeah. And Brett, yours was, did you stick with Old Town Road, or did you give us another?
Yeah, I'll stick with that one.
Yeah. I thought you were a big Lil Nas X.
Well, I thought you were a Lil Nas X guy. Come on now.
But I guess I was totally wrong about that. You know what? I think Brett got tired of that because his son used to sing it all the time when it would come on, and it was one of his favorites there for a while. But yeah, so that probably ruined you pretty quick as well.
Yeah.
Because you're forced to hear it because he wants to hear it. You know what I mean? You know how that thing works. I know you know how that works, Mike, with all the grandkids you got.
Well, yeah.
You know how it works.
That's right.
Hey, we appreciate folks tuning in. Congratulations to the winners and the losers last night. Still another good night of high school football, and that's it's kind of the nights that we like to see. There are a lot of close games, last night.
Yep. Kudos to Lincoln for getting off the turf. Down what you said, 17-7, come back for the win. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
David Byrd
gets his first win
as head coach.
You know, I started thinking about this. What was Lincoln's record going into last night?
0-4.
0-4. So here you go, Scott Cloninger. Coach Bird's got you beat now because you started your career 0-5.
Wow.
Right? Scott will always tell you that. Yeah, he said he lost his first 5.
Was his first year 2000 or 99?
I think 2000.
2000, yeah.
I think 2000.
Yeah.
But, he always says, I lost my first 5 games. He'll have to point that out, So,
Yeah.
so yep, things can turn around. And you know what? Sometimes it just takes gaining a little confidence. So, hey, congratulations on a job well done last night in high school football. Can't wait for the college and the pro. What a weekend it's going to be, especially on Sunday. Wow, Sunday is so huge. Thanks for tuning in this morning. For Mike and Brett, I'm David. See you next week.
Untangling your headphones,